this yoga-inspired stretching video. I'm Tanya Ross of TDR Academy, and hopefully this is the second video that you're now watching. The first one was the beginner's introduction to the sun salutation. So this time around we're still going to go through the sun salutation. It's a really nice stretching sequence. So the reason why we use it is because it covers quite a large number of areas in the body in a short space of time. So what method we're going to use today in this video is more of a dynamic active stretching sequence. In the last video it was more to do with holding for 3 breaths and trying to relax into the stretches as well as lengthen and deepen the stretch. Whereas today we're going to actively try to deepen the stretch. So once we take it into a position, as long as there's no pain, you have that signal that it's safe to proceed. If there's any pain, you pull back of that position and go less. Otherwise, maybe stop and ask for advice when you're back in class again. So again, you can use this as a stretching sequence, maybe before warming up, before any exercise, because it is active and it's more dynamic. So the pace that you work at can be up to you, or you can just follow along and get a sense of what pace I tend to work at with these stretches, which is suitable for most warm-ups, but you can gradually get a little bit quicker. So without further ado, we'll get started. So we're going to bring you slightly forwards onto your mat, so you have enough room as you step back into your lunges. So with the feet about hip distance apart, we go with the hips, the outer hips matching up with the outside edges of your feet. And from there, take the arms up. In breath. And as you breathe out, we're going to slowly take the hands down through prayer position and fold at the hips. Now for you, maybe you soften the knees, or maybe you can work with straight legs. As this is an initial warm-up with nothing prior, I recommend bending your knees. From here, I want you to think about lengthening. We're not going to go through the full sun salutation, it's modified. But we're going to take the leg behind and take it down to your knee. So first of all, this active stretch, you're actively pulling your heel to your thigh and you're actively pressing with your bottom to press the hips forwards and actively drawing your shoulders down your back. And then we're going to slowly transition from here into child's pose. Slowly back, lengthen, actively reaching. In breath, as you breathe out, round the spine, roll it up. We're coming up onto all fours. Now from this position, we're just going to take an easy sort of warm up for the wrists. So I want you to circle your weight once you're in that neutral long back position, circling your weight around your wrists. And it's just before we would take it into a bit of a down dog, because otherwise then the wrists might not feel comfortable. Now in this position, as we mentioned in the first video, I want you to use the mats rolled back if you feel that you need it in down dog. So all you simply do is roll your mat back, or placing something underneath the wrist that will give you a little bit of height to take out the full extension. So from there, once you're set up into position, draw the toes under, and we're going to take you a little bit higher with your hips. So from here, it's a push with your arms. I don't want you to collapse in at your shoulders. I want you to think about engaging the arms and pulling the shoulders down your back. From there, it's a lift of the abdominals and your sit bones, and then slowly starting to lengthen one heel and then the other. Now, as we're going through these little pedaling movements with your legs, I want you to think about really lengthening your heel as much as feels comfortable to go away from your sit bone in that thigh. So you're lengthening your hamstrings. Your head is relaxed, not pulling through looking, just relaxed. Okay, so after a few on each side, and again, if you feel that your down dog needs to adjust your hands as well, you can. But I want you to lengthen both heels. Still think about lifting the sit bone, so I don't want you in a rounded position with your back. If you need to go wider, you go wider, and you lift the sit bones. Now from there, we're going to take it just down onto knees, and we're going to lower the body by your choice, whether it's box, whether it's 3/4 and down. But again, we're early position, so small back bend, shoulders rolled in behind. From there, back muscles are working, legs are lengthening, abdominals are picking up, hands press into the floor, push it back into child's pose. Take a deep breath in, open the ribs, Out breath, curl the tailbone under, rolling the spine coming forwards into your box position. So from there, tuck the toes under, and again we're going to revisit that bent leg down dog. Think about your alignment, shoulders away from the ears and chest towards your legs. Hips high, knees soft. So from there, we're going to take that right leg forward in between the hands. Again, go into the knee to try to get that sense of lengthening. If you feel that you can go straight in, you could go into the straight legs, but as it's a warm-up sequence, I would prefer that it starts from bent legs. Then from there, draw the toes under, step it in control, feet hip distance apart, again hands flat to the floor. Bend your knees as much as you need to, but you're actively lifting and relaxing the head. Lifting your sit bones, and then from there press the feet into the floor. Now for you, if you have back concerns, hands go to the knees and you lift your back muscles through a squat. Otherwise you're rolling your spine, you're articulating the spine as you roll it up, slowly lifting, lengthening, tall reach, and hands back down into prayer. So we'll take it through round 2. So this time we're going to use fuller options with straighter legs and full down dog. Again, dynamically moving with your breath through the movements. Don't hold your breath. In breath, reach it up. Arms can separate. Little baby back bend at the top. Hands down through prayer position. Send the hips backwards. If you need to place the hands to the knees for support, you can. Hands to the floor. Actively lift your sit bones. And as you breathe out, lower the chest. Then slowly take the left leg behind. So again, we're going to try to go for full lunge on the way through, but you still have the bent leg option. So from there, long spine, actively pulling your sit bone towards your heel and your heel towards your sit bone. Once you're lengthened through there, then we're going to take you back. As we take you back, we're going into down dog. So this time, adjust as many times as you need to with your hands and feet to get your width away from each other or closer. Whatever feels good for you so that you're equally weighted across hands and feet. Lengthen. Rounding the spine is not where we want to go. We want to go long. Hips lifted, abdominals engaged. So from there, we're going to take it into full position. Lift the heels. Curl the tailbone under. Roll your spine coming forwards. If you need to readjust your plank position, you can do, whether you need a bit more width between your shoulders and your feet. From there, you've got the option of going 3/4 to lie down or full. Lift the back muscles. Lengthen through the legs. And then press it back into child's pose. In breath to prepare. Out breath, round the spine, roll it up. And we're coming into toes tucked under. And again, into down dog. So from there, we're still going to roll it through into plank. So when you're ready, we're going to use that out breath, lifting through the heels, rolling your spine forwards, take the left leg forwards. As it comes through between your hands, we're still going for that length. So for you, if it needs to be here, that's where you go. Otherwise, we're lengthening all the way through to your heel, long, stretching, and then take the leg in, stepping hip distance apart. Actively lifting your sit bones, again, really tall. And then your options, squat or roll. Press the feet into the floor, connect with the legs, knees soft. Rolling, lifting, lengthening, all the way up into full stretch. Hands back down into prayer. Now for you, time-wise, if you feel that that is enough, that's one round, right leg and left leg, so we cover every side of the body twice. But I'm going to take it through one more, just to go through another stretch, bringing it into the hamstrings, a little bit stronger possibly, with 2 different options available. So as we go through, again, you've got the option of stopping now or taking it further. I'm hoping you already feel a little bit warmer, but this should be, I suppose, the little icing on the cake for the next round. So we're coming back into a right leg sequence, hip distance apart, in breath. And out breath, choose your method of folding, right angle or squatting on the way down. So from there, can you lengthen a little bit on the in breath? Maybe for you that's fingertips, or maybe you need to bring your hands to your legs to lengthen through your back. And shoulders away from your ears. Out breath, take the hands back down again. Right leg coming behind on the in breath. On the out breath, sink the lunge in a little bit deeper. Again, you've got the option to go to your knees. For this first one, we're going to take it back into a straight leg. if you can. If the leg doesn't go straight, but you're here, I would rather you bent the leg a little bit more and try to get the back longer. So it's going to stretch you out in through here. Now we're going to drift from one position to the next. We're going to come forward to that bent leg lunge, actively pulling forwards and pressing through the glute, and then pulling back and pressing forwards. As we pull it back, we're actively lengthening through to the top of your head and pulling forwards, trying to lengthen. And again, you choose your option, not rounded, trying to keep the back straight, wherever that is for you. Last one. As we finish forward in the lunge, scoop it back to down dog. Take the hips high, full down dog if you can. You can always go bent legs, feet wherever they need to, around about hip distance apart, heels lengthened to the floor, shoulders away from your ears. And then when you're ready, out breath, lift the heels, roll the spine, exaggerate those curves, coming forward and lengthen from your heels to the top of your head. Adjust as you need to. Can you take the option to lower through that tricep press up, lower to the floor, lift, lengthen your spine. Toes are pointing out long behind you. Remember, everything has options. So if you feel your range is to go higher, you're keeping the spine lifting and lengthening. Arms will feel like they're pulling back slightly to help give you a little bit more range. But again, for you, you could use support on your elbows and pull back with your elbows to open the ribs away from your pelvis. Now, whichever option you're in from there, we're going to send it back again. You have an option for child's pose. You always have an option for child's pose. So if that's where you're going, that's where you stay. Feeling that, you could go straight to down dog. Roll the shoulders back, toes tucked under, lifting up in through your cobra, lift the hips, press it up into down dog. So again, at any point, if you ever need a child's pose, just take one. It's not a competition, it's whatever feels good for you. So then from there, we're going to take that right leg forwards. Again, find your lunge. We're going to take it into bent legs, long through the body, actively pulling, actively pressing. So again, where is your range of movement for you? I want you to listen to what your body's telling you. So again, it's not a competition. Just because I can straighten my legs doesn't mean that's where I want you to go. If you feel that you're rounding, I want you to lengthen. I would rather you were bent and straighter in the back than stressing the back. So it's 5 on each, coming into that last one. And as we come forwards, again, connect the toes behind, step it in, hip distance apart, ground the feet, lengthen into the floor. Use the abdominals to pick you up, the tailbone to lengthen. Maybe you're still squatting, that's fine. Lift, tiny little back arch, not by squeezing the hips through, but by lifting up. Hands coming down onto the chest. So, that's your sun salutation. They are quite difficult. So there are so many modifications, and make it your own. So if you need more child's poses, if down dog doesn't enter into it, that's fine. Again, it's not a competition. So I want to challenge you, but only within your own limits. So for you, choose what works best. You'll know after you do 1 round, 2 rounds, 3 rounds, how warm that gets you for the purpose that you're using it. How much you stretch. Do you prefer to hold, or do you like the active dynamic movements? What does your body like? And how do you feel afterwards? So again, you could practice this every day, but I would recommend maybe every other day until you get a little bit more secure with the positions and that you're getting feedback in class so that it reinforces that you're in good joint positions. But as long as something doesn't feel sore or stressful on a joint, then work with it. Use pillows if you need to under your knees, use supports underneath your wrists, whatever feels good. Again, there's no right or wrong other than pain, that's wrong. So I'm hoping you enjoyed that today. I'm hoping you felt that it did make you work and you feel warmer and looser. So thank you for watching, and we hope to see you again soon. Bye.